We'll allow 2 minutes apiece. The first person, J.D. McCormick. Go ahead and time them. J.D. McCormick here. Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman and committee members, for the opportunity to speak here today. My name is J.D. McCormick, and I'm the president of the American Healthy Alternatives Association. We have worked on hemp legislation across the country and worked diligently with surrounding state legislatures, including Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, North and South Carolina, to help pass common sense hemp regulations. We support the sentiments in Senate Bill 494 and hope to work with the bill sponsors as it moves through the process on tweaking just a few of the definitional changes and some of the licensing fees, but we support its moving forward today to keep things on track during a short legislative session. Common sense regulations helps to invite capital investment and creates market stability for operators. The leadership of the Agriculture Commissioner on this issue has been fantastic, and we hope to continue to work with him to pass good legislation and eventually as the industry's regulator. This bill is a great first step in striking a balance between consumer protection and industry viability. Thank you, Senator Watson, for bringing forward this good bill.
Thank you. Thank you for the brevity. The next speaker is Leva. If I could ask you to please, when you testify, make your remarks about the bill, please.
I'll keep it real short because I'd love to speak on 525 also. I just wanted to say thank you for taking the misdemeanor off, the restriction. I think that's really good. And I am very happy that the Department of Agriculture will be getting more money for this program because I think there's a lot of work to do with the cannabis seed bank and just there's so much we can develop. And so I really like the idea of there being a lot of licenses, and it's something I actually asked for in exchange for lowering the processing fee, which I think is very restrictive. I think I would love it to be lower as well. And when I researched other states, something that I found to be really amazing was the Florida bill, which is where I saw that they were licensing distributors and wholesalers and retailers, but they all had the same fee, even the processor. It was all $6.50. And so I asked the director of cannabis, why? And she said, well, it's because we just charge per facility, because we inspect the facility because we want it to be as clean as if you were eating there. So we have those standards. And so if there's a processing facility, if they have two different facilities, then there's a different charge or license for each facility. So I just wanted to add that information if you wanted to chew on it.
Thank you for your remarks. Chuck McMullen. And the following speaker will be Dr. Yolanda Henderson.
Oh, she couldn't make it. I mean, she had to go. She said she thanks you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I'm here on behalf of my firm, MCA Group, and we represent Georgia-based retailers and wholesalers. We support this bill. We also support the entire package that the Department of Agriculture has put forward. We support in its effort to regulate hemp products. And we thank Senator Watson for his leadership on this issue. And again, I want to reiterate that Georgia-based retailers and wholesalers do support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I represent Georgia Hemp Alliance. We mainly retail stores, but we have some growers and a processor as well. I've been working on hemp since 2010. Farm Bill started in D.C. and 14 years now. The Georgia law has started out bad. There's a second bill that fixed some of the stuff. I want to address quickly a couple of the questions came up here. We very much support this bill. The department has done a beautiful job with it. Most of this in the two bills that have been introduced are in House Bill 196, which was a combined medical cannabis, and all the hemp bills that got introduced last year were put together. It didn't flow very well. It wasn't perfect. The language here is much better, but it covers the same issues by and large. The only negative comment I would say deals with the fees. I think initially we had 6 processors and I think we're down to one now, and they're struggling. We have to get products from out of state because we do not have a thriving processing business or industry in Georgia. Looking around us, the last time I checked, Tennessee does not charge a processing fee. Alabama has a $1,000 processing fee, and South Carolina had a $3,000 processing fee. The high license fees are really hindering the operation of the processors by and large. We very much support the registration of retail sales outlet. One of the reasons that we can't enforce this now is because the department doesn't know where the products are being sold. You have standalone CBD stores, you have convenience stores, but there's really no list of where the locations are. So there's really no way for anybody to really enforce it. The other big problem I see is with the bond. It deals with the processor primarily. The bonds are difficult, if not impossible, to obtain. I think there was one processor here earlier in another meeting for Senate Bill 437. I don't know if he's here now, but Russ Bryant with Second Century down in Osceola has firsthand knowledge about how that's hindering and how difficult it is to get that bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. West. Sarah Nichols.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Sarah Nichols. I own Shea Labs and Analytics. We are a third-party cannabis testing facility in the state of Georgia. We serve the hemp industry, the Georgia medical cannabis industry, and we work with law enforcement for testing cannabis and illicit substances. I really want to reiterate to this committee that anybody in Georgia who touches cannabis is in favor of this bill. And I mean that to say the sheriff's associations, the chief of police, the district attorneys, hemp farmers, hemp processors, hemp manufacturers, and there is a distinct difference, and compliance labs and advocates. People who tell you otherwise are out-of-state operators who are profiting off of selling illicit products in Georgia and calling them compliant. And the reason they can do it, as many people have mentioned, is because the Department of Agriculture does not have the enforcement capability or the oversight of retail shops. We don't know who they are, and we have a difficult time. There's no way to regulate it. This bill, I want to kind of give some insight on the hemp economy. There's a lot of questions here about what the fees would be. And a processor in Georgia, I don't think there is a processor in Georgia who would qualify for a $10,000 fee because the market's not there. And I don't think Tennessee is your model to go after either because they're in a worse position than Georgia is. It's important that you have a fee, and I understand that looking at it at first sight, it does look high. But there isn't an industry right now for that fee to be, for them to ever get to $10,000. 5 years from now, there may be. And we need that money there to support a regulated program. And a manufacturer is making topicals out of oil that they're purchasing. Their risk is a lot lower than a processor who has ethanol that they are running through and heating up. There's different risk factors for entering the market, and those barriers of entry are reflected in these costs as well, not just from an economic standpoint, but from a risk perspective of barriers to entry. I think that, honestly, I think $10,000 is a fair structure for processors, and I do agree with stepping it down in levels, like the 4 levels like the other ones were doing. I don't think that Second Century would meet the processor or the manufacturer top tier level right now. They would be at a lower level. But there are retail shops like your masseuse who maybe sells to their clients a couple CBD products. They should not pay more than $250 a year. That being said, there are massive shops in Atlanta. I know the store down from me in Macon is making $350,000 a month. They can afford a $10,000 license. So perspective on that economy, retail shops are thriving, the farmer is dying.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols. I'm sorry, all right, thank you for your testimony. I know it's hard to get everything in, but we could trying not to have a 3-hour committee hearing. So, I believe, what is the will of the committee? All righty. Okay. We have a motion from do pass from Senator Hatchett and a second from Senator Jackson. You can second as well. All right. All in favor? Is there any further discussion? Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would like to propose an amendment to this bill. Beginning on line 204. It's really line 205. It's line 205. An annual permit fee. I'd like to do a range of between $500 to $10,000,
Okay.
so that we can have a tiered processing system. So it would be an annual permit fee of at least $500, but no more than $10,000.
Okay.
It's here already, annual. Yes, ma'am. So line two, so just so I'm clear,
All
line
right, guys.
205.
Hey, may I ask everybody in the audience, please hold it down? Okay, go ahead, Senator.
So line 205, we would strike, we would keep of and then add at least $500, but no more than, and then 10,000's already there.
Okay.
What do you say? Yes, as established by the commissioner. Sorry, I need to keep that whole line, as established by the commissioner.
Okay.
So I would move that we would make that
We're going to need to make a vote on the underlying bill first, so,
No.
am I wrong about that? Okay. I thought we had to pass the underlying bill and then amend it. Okay, so we have a motion. All right. You'd like to second? Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm still learning how to be a chairman, so,
You're doing great.
yeah, I'm doing the best I can with what little bit the good Lord gave me. Yes, all right. So everyone in favor? Any further discussion on that? Okay, Senator Burns.
I just want to just clarify, the department would determine the levels, is that right? It could go from 500 to 10,000, and you're not going to tell them how many levels. There's 9,500 levels in the middle, perhaps, but that's not likely. I'm just
Did
saying,
you write down what it
That's
says?
Yeah, yes, sir.
department's comfortable. Thank you.
Okay. Okay,
It's been
everyone
moved
in,
and seconded.
everyone in favor of the amendment? Okay, it's unanimous.
I have one more amendment, if you would, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
On line 230, this is related to the bonding. I would like to amend it to strike the minimum amount of such bond shall be 300,000 and. So instead, it would read, however, that the maximum amount shall be 1 million, and therefore we'd leave it to the commissioner. We already have rules established above about how the commissioner might determine it.
okay, read that one more time.
So line 230, I would like to strike the minimum amount of such bond shall be $300,000 and.